Okay.
So,
All right.
I'll bring the meeting to order. It's the, September quarterly meeting, for the APC. I have to announce we're on camera. Is that how I do it?
Yeah.
All right, so we're on camera.
Being recorded by LakeCAM.
Being recorded by LakeCAM. Why don't we go around the room and introduce ourselves? My name is Bill Schwartz. I'm from the City of Taunton Water Department.
Aaron Best, Division of Fisheries and Wildlife.
Iman Galati, City of New Bedford.
I'm Gary Santos, Quitticus Water Treatment Plant.
John Hobel of Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection.
Nancy Yates, Environmental Manager of the APC and Lakeville's representative to the APC.
Good morning, Kelly Andrade from State Senator Michael Roderick's office, 1st Bristol and Plymouth District.
Okay, I'll just open the meeting up to Nancy. She can give her.
Okay. One of the first things I wanted to do, and maybe we can share these, is I know I've been talking about the loon project for quite a while, but I called and asked Aaron to bring in the magazine because Assawompset Pond's featured. For the very first time, one of our rangers, Glenn McAvoy, has identified one of the birds that were released, and for the first time in 20 years, the Behavior Research Institute has identified a bird that was actually released and came back. So it was pretty big news.
Wow.
And Glenn's out there every morning. So he actually, the tag is, I guess when they flip up their, what'd you call it, Aaron, their flipper?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, they used to swim, that tag, then the numbers are pretty visible, and he has identified that. I also had somebody that told me they saw a loon with babies on their back, but we haven't seen anything since, and I don't think coming back that first year means they're breeding already, so there was no,
I think if that was the case, you'd have a lot more than just one report on that.
yeah. And I don't know, does any other bird in this area do that, carry their babies on their back? No, otherwise the swans would have a lot more babies than they have because they start with 12 and end up with none. So that, I think that was pretty exciting. They did not do it again this year. The cages are still in the peach barn, I bet he's neck, because it was so successful. It was a 3-year program, and they did the 3 years, and it was so successful. They really tried to get the funding extended for a 4th year, and it didn't happen. So I don't know what's going to happen with the cages if they, maybe try another year. I mean, they're not in the way. They're not hurting anything. The peach barn's been broken into. The Deacus property has been broken into really a lot of vandalism. I think I said that at the last meeting, but it's only got worse. They did break into the peach barn. They stole some cranberry crates. There's really not anything up there anymore. And the visitor center, there's stuff, but years ago, I had those doors changed to 2 steel doors, which were really expensive. But it was the best thing I ever did because it's really not fun, wood, something. We haven't had too much trouble. It's the main part of the barn with the wooden doors that they get into. And now, I had the rangers go up and they buttoned it up so tight, they said, Nancy, you probably can't even get in, so.
Good.
It is what it
Good
is.
news, yep.
I just, it's terrible. That's a beautiful old building. The police have had cameras. I think Deacus is going to buy cameras, but they did some pretty bad destruction on the screen room. That screen room, I think Joan Pierce had looked at that because that screen room was antique. And it was still like almost in working order, and they talked about a museum or purchasing that property in the buildings. But it just continues, and I guess the police caught somebody the last time. But I think that they're a little leery about pressing charges because it might have been one of those situations where people came in and did a lot of damage, and then some kid just showed up to have a beer in the back parking lot. And I think they don't want to prosecute somebody that probably just needs a slap on the wrist because they can't absolutely prove that they did the bad damage. So I really don't know where that's going. So as far as the rest of the complex, I mean, you have your same people in the water swimming, your same people leaving their glass and their beer cans and their junk by the side of the road, as Gary can attest. You know, I would say Jay of the Rangers does the best job with his bag, picking stuff up.
He must be, because I haven't heard from you a lot, so he must be picking it up.
Jay's
Yeah,
good.
very good.
As the thing that we can't pick up is when a contractor comes and dumps
Right,
his whole,
right.
you know, just remodeled a room and you have all your sheet rock and,
And you don't want to leave it there because you don't want it to be habitual, you know what I mean? You want to get rid of right away before.
yeah.
Well, if you
It
do
turns
have,
into a dump spot.
if you do have, we have set up cameras and caught that kind of dumping, so,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
did that. in
Right,
Marshall.
Right, so
Yeah.
we could do that if it becomes a regular thing, you know.
They pick different places. so
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
There's so many places to pick. And did you fill in that, you must have filled in that, right on that Lakeville-Rochester line where that Jeep got stuck that
yeah,
time?
we
You
did,
fill that in?
yeah, we filled it in.
Yeah, well, it
Yeah.
was funny because there was a truck there the other day and I pulled over and I have my mother's truck now, so have, if you saw it out there, I slapped 2 APC signs on the side and I get so much more attention and respect with that truck than I did with my little car. People, they jump out of the water when they see it coming.
That works.
Nancy, we have a guest that wanted to make a comment on what we're talking about, so I just
Okay.
wanted to.
Yeah, Ron Burgess, I'm with the Parent Commission.
Thank you, Ron.
In the past, the cheapest way I had when I was with the Conservation Commission with some complaints about trash, cutting wood, all kinds of different things that were going on. Cheapest thing available was a game camera I had. And they make some now that don't have red dots and so on. They're very invisible if you don't know they're there. We were able to get a picture of someone with a chainsaw, their pickup truck, their license plate, and photographic evidence is really good. And with a game camera, unlike most security systems, it's not fixed. You can move it around to those areas where you seem to have the most problems and so on. And like I say, the photographic evidence is excellent because the quality nowadays of these
It's
units
really
is
good.
really good.
We do have
So
a
you can blow things up and it's not distorted, you can see it.
We do have a camera on the side of the peach barn, but it's on one side. That was our funding to be able to buy it, to put it on the one side, so if they come up the back road rather than the main road.
Well, the beauty again with the game cameras, you can move them around with some bungee cords, you can put them on the sides of trees or posts. You can put them in areas that someone actually wouldn't see them, unless they understood that you have them. Unlike, again, a surveillance system where they can see the camera and stay out of the view and so on.
And I think that's what Deacon's is probably gonna do, and that's what the police department does, because I've had that, the police have put the camera up at Betty's Neck multiple times, but then if they have somewhere on the other side of town, they can move it, but you know, it will be there, I think it's there, and then all of a sudden they had a problem on the other side of town, so they have to move it, they can't give us the individual attention.
No, APC had a couple of them, you can move around different places. You know.
Or
That's the
we
only
can
suggestion.
That's
call
what
on
we-
you
yeah.
because
Yeah.
because they have it too.
That's the only suggestion I have because vandalism is a real pain in the neck.
And it has been for years and years, and that's an old
Thank you,
building.
Recurrent, yeah.
I worry about fire probably, about more than.
That's who I was gonna ask, we had some discussion, but there was no mention of fire or anything? That was pretty good
They
then.
seem to like to break stuff. And for no real
Yeah.
reason.
Right.
You know, I can see if they were, you know, when we had our sweatshirts stolen, they broke in to steal a sweatshirt because they were cold. At least there's some kind of a explanation, but just to take rocks and throw it through the window or just to break things up, there's just no rhyme or reason to it these days. And it does seem to happen around the time when kids are getting out of school too. So we do extra police patrols up there during that period. But around the complex, like I said, we all have those signs. Jay and Glenn and myself have those signs on the side of the truck. That just seems to help when you drive through. People take more notice than me driving through in my little red car. Even though I'm probably the most recognizable one, people usually recognize me, but I like having the truck with the signs on the side. So, and somebody, for the water department, somebody built, if you walk into, and I always get confused between L5 and L6, but if you walk into the road that goes down to where we used to look at the Eagle's Nest on Anoxanon. Somebody, and I was laughing when I was, Glenn's looking at me like, are you gonna rip it down? It's like, somebody put a bench, it's a beautiful spot. It's a really beautiful spot, and you can see Anoxanon, you probably can see the Eagles right there. Somebody took a 2x6 between two trees, and they didn't pound anything. They must have cut it to fit between those two trees. It fits perfect on one side. They did pound, they must have pounded nails on the back, because there's one in the back. So it's a bench. It's got a flat and a back, brand new wood, and it's got a thing that goes down to hold one end, whatever you call it, so that they didn't have to pound nails in the tree. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So I see no problem with leaving it there.
Yeah, I don't see a
Okay.
problem with
Yeah,
that.
probably be more
We'll leave
to
it.
rip it out. Let's
Right.
do it.
Yeah,
You just
we'll
sit-
leave
it. It's really
I sat
nice,
there.
yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
did you sit on it? I'm like, yeah, I sat on it. I looked around with my binoculars. It was thoughtfully done.
Yeah.
As long as it's
That's
not
nice.
problematic.
Right.
You know, fantastic.
It's a nice little place, and there's probably not that many, droves.
Yeah.
I don't see cars there. Hundreds of people aren't going down there and sitting. It's
That's
whatever.
nice. Nice
Yeah.
little surprise for
Yeah,
them.
it's a nice little surprise.
Yeah.
So I would say everything's pretty good around the complex, unless, have you had any?
No, it's been good.
Yeah, we
Like I
communicate
said,
pretty
yeah,
well.
your ranges are,
Yeah, and
really, like I say,
Glenn
and
and
if it's
Jay.
too big and they can't handle it,
And they're
as
mostly
always.
on the weekend,
just
and now that
call.
I have more time, I'm trying to fill in the gap. The gap is probably like around noontime on weekdays, because Jay doesn't get out of work till 3 o'clock, so he'll do every night, he'll do around. And Glenn's out there in the morning. Glenn is out there every single morning. So that lag time is usually around lunchtime, if people are on their lunch break, or, whatever. So I'm trying to, because Jay's also does probably 2 8-hour days on the weekend. He's out there all weekend.
Wow.
And I have volunteers watching the island, Great Island,
Yeah,
with the causeway. So,
and we do our rounds, we do our gate
Yep.
inspections
Yep.
in our gate, and like I said,
Yep.
it's been good. So,
Yeah.
the Rangers have been doing a good job.
yeah, they
So
both, and they've
fantastic.
both
Yeah.
been doing it for
Yeah.
Glenn's been with me since almost the beginning.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it.
So,
Yeah.
like I say, if I can fill in that little time where it seems to be lag time,
Mhm.
especially in the summer.
Mhm.
And I only live 2 miles away, so
Yeah.
this summer, even if I just do a drive-through and then go home, I'll come
Right.
back out a few hours later and do just a
Right.
drive-through that,
Right.
and get the people. That's the biggest thing on the causeway, is the people in the water.
Right.
That's just that busiest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw you that day. That was
Right.
before I had the truck
Right.
with the signs on it, but
Right.
still,
Right.
yeah. So,
Right.
so I think we're doing pretty good, and now we're hopefully going into a slower season.
Hopefully.
Kids are
I
back
hope
in
so.
school.
Yeah.
Back to school.
Yeah.
It's getting colder and, yep.
Yeah.
We also have a new farmer. Oh, this is one other question. We have a new farmer, it's for you, who's haying the fields, but they're in bad shape. They're just in bad shape, the fields, so it's not lucrative really. But I've been approached by a woman from get this right, Ridge, some kind of a dog there, special kind of hunting dog, Ridgeback.
Okay.
Say it again? Rhodesian Ridgeback, that's it, thank you. And they do their field trials with mechanical rabbit, and they want to have a field trial up at Betty's Neck, which I see nothing wrong with. I mean, there's no guns, they're not hunting, it's just a mechanical rabbit, but the field has to be at a certain level.
Yeah.
They're gonna do a policy with the town, an insurance writer with the town. I mean, they already said all this stuff, I didn't even have to say it to them, so they're experienced in going different places. No camping overnight, all the rules.
Yeah,
So,
we
as
we
long
permit
as-
a lot of that,
Okay.
on our
I-
properties.
I did tell them they had to pay to have rangers on duty that day.
Yeah,
So they can just pay it into our regular fund that we pay the rangers out of.
yeah,
And just to have somebody to open the gate, they can even, come in the gate and park if they have cars.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about the end of October.
yeah,
So that little field doesn't have to be protected anymore at the end of October, so they can park in, I usually have October events, so they can park in the field, they can do their mechanical rabbit, so, does
Yeah,
that seem,
yeah, that seems pretty awesome.
okay?
Yeah, we do a lot of that with different sporting dog clubs, like down at Crane and Falmouth and other places. Yeah, we try to accommodate them as best we can.
Yeah, it seems pretty harmless to me. It's,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
use of the field that shows, you know, if it's
Yeah,
never used,
yeah.
it gives people the idea nobody's ever up there, so they can go up there and vandal. So regular events to me don't seem like a bad idea, and that seemed pretty harmless to me.
Yeah, I think that's
Especially if
pretty
they're
good.
gonna pay for the rangers, they're
Yeah.
gonna do the insurance policy with the town.
Do you have maybe give Nancy an example of one of the
Yeah, I
things
could
you
do
have,
that.
that way it's consistent with.
That would be good. Yeah, I was
So-
just gonna, I haven't done a permitting. Last thing I did was for Charlie Kennedy's father for running hounds at night was the last permit I gave out for
Sounds like Charlie, yeah.
Definitely, Charlie.
That was years ago, but because it was a night use, it was out of the management plan actually, but I just assumed instead of having to make something up, why invent the wheel?
Yeah, I can email you a sample of that.
Okay,
It's right
Nancy?
along the same lines as some of our license agreements, like the one that I gave you for the hayfield too. so,
Right.
yeah.
Will they be cutting the field as well, or are they just using it?
she's communicating with the farmer to make
Okay.
sure they can do it, that he's gonna cut it again. I'm thinking with this hurricane that we're probably not gonna get a hurricane, but we're gonna get a lot of rain because it was pretty dry there for that hot period of time,
Right.
so it wasn't looking like he was gonna hay it again that last time. But he had told me if he was gonna hay it again, it would be mid-October, which would be perfect for them, because I think it doesn't have to be cut all the way down. The rabbit must stick up a little bit so they can have a little bit of,
Yeah, a lot of times, we don't deal with that, the rabbit in particular, it's more of like pheasant hunters, and a lot of times they'll ask us to cut a piece of our field flat and maybe cut a couple trails around so they can see a lot better for their judging, because they
Well,
want to be
that
able to
was
see
the
the
woman-
dogs to be
right.
able to judge.
that was the
And,
woman's other question, if the farmer didn't cut it, would we allow them to cut a little bit of a piece like that? And I don't think that's gonna
Yeah.
hurt anything
We
either,
usually
so.
do work for that, but, yeah. So, sometimes they'll ask that.
I'm just kind of thinking, looking at my own grass, that they're gonna be probably, it would be lucrative enough to do it again if we get this rain by mid-October, so. So hopefully it will work all out. That wouldn't be a bad yearly thing, and it would add extra money in for the Rangers that, it's
Right.
not a lot, but, you know, a few things like that, that's a few more hours we can cover.
It'll get more people using the property too, which is good.
Yep.
All right, so that's it on the update?
I think so.
Okay. We'll move on to pond levels. So I'll talk a little bit about it. It's, so today we're at 51.9, which is about a half a foot higher than the seasonal target. So, Gary and I discussed, opening the dam, opening up some of the bays this week, to start allowing water out. And so we haven't coordinated the work, but that will be done this week. And I don't know if Gary has anything else.
No, I mean, we had a meeting yesterday, and I
Yes.
think our pond levels are very good, and we are exactly where we should be at this time, but in anticipation of what's to come, we should start pulling planks.
Correct.
Can you talk a little bit about what we were talking about before the meeting, about, I should ask that question, but it seems appropriate now, of, Deacon's wanting to amend their conservation restriction. That's interesting to me, and I just like to make sure that it's all done properly and where it's gonna be and whatever. I guess that was discussed at the meeting yesterday. I guess you just found out that yesterday, and I just found out that yesterday.
Yeah, there wasn't really a detailed discussion about that, so I think probably if Deacus has a proposal, we should probably circulate it with everyone so that they know what's going on, you know.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of moving parts to that, you know, the conservation restrictions, the
And what's
gravel,
it exactly called?
tailwater recovery pond.
Tailwater recovery.
So, I mean, we try to encourage those because it stops a direct discharge to the body of water. So you end up with and then they can withdraw from that too. So it keeps the water that's full of nutrients hopefully sloshing back and forth between the bogs. and the tailwater recovery pond, rather than being directly discharged into the pond. So generally, they're a good thing. We encourage them, but we also like to see what's going on with that. And then location. I think everybody's interested in that because of the conservation restriction. Rita talked about it yesterday because I guess they already have a gravel removal permit in front of the select. I think was that the impression you got
Yes.
yesterday? Yeah. So, it's again, probably it's better that they just come all out once, because this is the first I was talking with people at our office, and they hadn't heard of that yet either.
So there was no detailed discussion, it was kind of, it was brought up there.
Well, Aaron says that the CR is actually held by DCR, right?
Yeah, Fish and Wildlife doesn't hold any interest in that piece.
So it's held by DCR, but I personally know that materials people don't read their conservation restrictions. And I'm guilty too, I have to ask Aaron all the time, is that on there, or can we do, I'm asking about the mechanical rabbit. I know because there's been trouble before that material's not supposed to go, I just don't want anything to fall through the cracks. Material's not supposed to go out off of that property without some kind of, it's in this conservation restriction. They can't remove sand, gravel. They can remove it to have it processed and bring it back. But material is not supposed to leave that for good. So how would really the town know that? It looks like a regular gravel permit. Is anybody gonna go back and look up their conservation restriction to see? Because at one point, I was the one who was filling out the yearly reports on how it was going on that. When they had come down, I was the person from the town that went to meet with the people that came down. Like when Liz comes down, and I meet with them, and are you doing everything that you're supposed to do with your conservation restriction? And that's how they found that material going. Actually, I think somebody had probably called in. So they were in a bit of hot water for removing material off the property. So I guess like John said, it would just be nice if the information is disseminated between interested parties, just to make sure nothing falls through the cracks. And like I say, it sounds like a perfectly good thing. It's just, a good thing can turn bad if you don't follow the rules, because the rules are there for a reason. And I'm very interested in location because of all the wildlife that's on that one side of it's like a dead bog. It's been dead for years. I think they did an experimental bog that went bad on that side,
Okay.
from what I remember.
And it might be good to reach out to the town then, and just let them know that, it needs to be reviewed for consistency with their conservation restriction before they.
I'm going back up
Yeah,
there
okay,
after I
before-
leave
okay,
here today.
before they give out their
because,
permit.
right, I was there yesterday, but I honestly hadn't thought about all of it yesterday, because I just had it, and they had a 9/11 service up there yesterday, so everybody was kind of involved in that, so I hadn't gone back inside afterwards, but I will.
Nancy, we have Ron wants to.
Okay.
Once again, I'll interrupt.
That's fine.
No, I know a lot of times towns, I know we're in Middleborough, a lot of times permits are granted with the condition on them that proper permits be issued. Ran into that a lot of times, especially with gravel removal and cranberry operations. They'll give the gravel permit contingent on getting their notice of intent or their agricultural filing with the Conservation Commission. So there may be some contingencies. I don't know how Lakeville does it, but there may be contingencies on
All other
granting.
permits and whatever,
Yeah,
that might be
yeah.
standard
Well, and then they
language,
don't
actually.
then they don't communicate. They just put it on there, and then they leave it on the applicant to go do all these things, and nobody's checking. So there may be something in there that someone should trigger some questions.
Right, that's my point, exactly.
Communication tends to be somewhat poor.
All right, thank you, Ron. So I don't know if anyone has any other questions about the pond levels. No, we can move on. I know it says old business here on the agenda, but I don't know if we have any new business that anyone wants to talk about.
I just have one small thing. Deer season in this part of the state is going to open 2 weeks earlier than normal this year.
Oh, how come?
They're trying to get more hunter participation. Try to get some of the numbers down to a more reasonable level. So it's going to be October 1st, I believe, or at least the first week of October. So
And it doesn't usually start the day after Columbus Day. Oh, no,
Yeah.
I get in trouble because it
So-
starts Columbus Day.
Yeah, so
It's
it's gonna
usually
be
that
2 weeks earlier
Monday.
than that, yeah.
Okay,
so-
because Columbus Day is the 9th. No, 8th, I'm sorry. Columbus Day is the 8th of October.
Yeah, so it's gonna be the first week of October, so I think it's
And a
October
week before
1st.
that, you said 2.
It'll be 2 weeks before the normal start, so.
Okay, so that's into, that's at the end of
September.
September.
It's gonna be, yeah, so it's coming up quick.
Okay,
Is it gonna be shotgun, Aaron, and bow? Is it full?
That's the
shotgun?
archery season.
Archery season
Yeah,
starts,
yeah.
okay.
So shotgun season will stay the same.
Stays the same.
It'll
Okay,
be
so it's
just a
bow
2-week
only.
season.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh, just for.
For bow.
yeah.
Okay.
So-
Nancy, do we have information available on where hunting is available? Allowed, I'm sorry.
It's allowed on most of the complex. You need a permit on Betty's Neck because of the visitor center, and that's the most used place by people and children and families and whatever. So you need a permit from me for shotgun on
Okay.
Betty's Neck, if
'Cause
anybody's
we-
up there with a shotgun.
We do get people coming by the treatment plant asking about it.
They just give them my number.
Okay.
Or my cell phone number is on the map, actually. My cell phone number is on the APC map, so we hand
And that
out.
shows where you can and can't be, right?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
the APC map is at Town Hall?
yeah, available at town clerk's office for a donation of $2.
All right. Until we,
It's a bargain.
one of the guests had a question.
It was the answer I was asking, who not hunting restrictions for archery or for shotgun.
Okay.
It was the answer, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of money from Fisheries and Wildlife. I received a lot of flack personally about hunting being allowed when this whole deal first went through about fishery. A lot of money came out of their coffers for this whole protection of the property and like millions. So that was part of the deal. And I have to say, they're the hunters are the least of my problem out there. They don't seem to dump trash as much as the fishermen. You know,
In
there's,
fact, a lot of them will pick
For a
it up
reason.
and bring it out.
yeah,
For a reason.
yeah, the fishermen sometime are, it's just a lot of Dunkin' Donuts cups, the styrofoam. I wish they'd stop selling Nitros and styrofoam.
Is there any, and I'm just throwing this out there, not sure about restricting things to steel shot? So you don't get the lead shot both in the pond and then,
Assawompset's not included in that list. In the fisheries, it's not.
no?
Quabbin
Yeah, so
is,
as far as
Wachusett
state-
is.
Yeah, as far as the state regulations are concerned, the waterfowl hunting is restricted to non-toxic shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Any
thinking
other
of
hunting-
lead sinkers, fishing.
Yeah,
Is that what you meant, or you
Well,
meant?
no, I'm thinking just shotgun,
Oh.
pellets.
Okay, because the ponds are called out for fishing for lead sinkers, but Assawompset's not in there.
yeah.
And that's not restricted statewide either to use the,
The lead sinkers are to a certain size
okay?
in the state. I
But
think
not the
it's-
little clip-on ones.
The small ones are once you get to the larger sizes, that can't be eaten by loons and things like that. I think you can still use lead. But I'm not sure on exactly what size the limit is, but there is it's a couple
Is
of
it?
years old now, yeah.
Oh, okay, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So is that restricted by location or is that a statewide?
that's a statewide
Okay.
regulation.
Okay, because it
And-
used to be, they called out the ponds where you
Yeah,
put
this
it.
it's just blankets the whole state.
Okay, that's great,
And
that's
same thing
good.
with waterfowl, well, there's no.
Waterfowl, yeah, that's,
Is there waterfowl hunting on the Assawompset?
Well, you can't, I mean.
You're not
it-
supposed to
how
be
you
on the
gonna get-
water.
How you gonna get
Right.
it? Your dog can't get it, you
Right,
can't get
right,
it.
right,
So
right,
what's
right.
this
yeah,
use?
so, I would say that wouldn't
Unless
be
you add
a
into
concern.
food in the food chain or something, but I mean, it's just, I just usually say
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I don't
because you
think in
can't
the amount of
retrieve
lead
your-
that you're not, there's no upland bird hunting to be had around here, so it's like, the amount of lead you're actually putting out during your deer season is negligible. It's, the amount of people out there compared to, the amount of shooting you're gonna get, waterfowl hunting is a lot more, and it directly impacts, all your lead shots gonna land in the water. That's why it's,
Right.
yeah, so.
All right, Does anyone else have any new business? Any of the guests? Yeah.
It's not really new, we discussed it at the last meeting. I just have a concern about that property from the nursing home, off of Parkshire and overlooking Criticus. You know, at a selectmen's meeting, they did say they would like to sell it to the highest bidder, get $1 million condos in that. Maybe more during that means, have you heard anything about that? Is the property officially for sale?
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, it's not like it was under 21, I mean, it wasn't like we had first option on it or anything. It doesn't surprise me. To us, it's just gonna mean, what, are all those people gonna be allowed to get a permit to put a boat in? I mean, I know Island Terrace
No.
had a permit to
No,
put a
we're
boat
only
in.
grandfathered,
Yeah,
only
just
people are
grandfathered.
grandfathered in.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's still gonna be a lot more people access. I've noticed that even
Absolutely.
from that development on Marion Road. I look at that and think that's just more people that are gonna be accessing through the woods
Yeah.
and the pond, and,
Definitely has the potential for degrading the area in terms of open space and recreation and visual impact, you name it, everything. And it's right there on the edge of the pond.
Is
The
there
usage.
a conservation restriction on that area?
Not that I'm aware of.
no,
No.
No, it was a pre-existing before
Yeah.
the peach.
it was a it was a
Yeah.
family home actually before. So it's like an island that's cut out from all the rest of the protected.
Mhm.
And now that they have the approved septic system, which is kind of,
Well,
that was
that-
approved for the nursing home.
That was approved in the nursing home, and any new just construction or anything new, they'd have to come back in again. You know, that was a lot of negotiation and to get that, and,
So it hasn't been constructed yet?
I don't know, I know that I
Yes,
wasn't.
it has it.
It was probably like 4 or 5 years ago that the permitting
Oh,
was
I
given.
thought it was last
But
year.
that was it was given also with the understanding of the greater public benefit of having a nursing home there, and, so there was a lot of consideration. Obviously, if something's coming in new, and, depending upon how they carve up the land too, if it all goes fee simple and it all goes to Title V, if it all is in one property with multiple uses, over 10,000 gallons a day in Title V flow, then it comes to us. And, the permitting would start fresh. So I
Because
guess.
that's done, that's in, I gave it the certificate of
Right,
compliance
that's the whole
myself.
thing is, that was for the nursing home.
Right.
So I think to remind people of that, that it needs to have new look at any wastewater disposal.
Is there a change of use there that would, is either what it's zoned or the change of use for the
Yeah, it may, because I know, because we signed an administrative consent order for that, and I think that restricted it to the nursing home, so, and it was with the current owners, I assume that they still own the property, so that would basically dissolve, that agreement is
I don't know if
terminated.
they own the property
They
or
own
if the
it,
bank
the
owns
bank
the
owns
property.
it.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but,
The bank owns it.
Yeah, I do too.
well, it might apply to the bank, but it wouldn't apply, because of, there's certain things when the bank takes stuff, secured lenders get some deference. But if they were gonna run the nursing home, the bank just took over the nursing home and like a receiver to run it or something like that, that would
It'd
be.
be okay.
It would be okay, but if it's change of use, I think it's very different, so I'll try to take a look at that and pull that out.
So you
Okay.
wouldn't allow any, I'm sorry.
No, any notice of intent that was filed to do that work, notice of intents have to be attached to deeds, so any agreements would be part of the deed, so it doesn't matter.
But if they had
who
a
owns it.
certificate of compliance, it comes off the deed. Yeah,
If they could.
yeah. That's why you give them a certificate of compliance, so they can take that work of the notice of intent off their deed.
Take the restriction
And it's done. I know myself. I mean, I was up there so much, it gave me a hard hat, so. And the company they hired, I mean, I have to say that about Island Terrace, that the Tolls always hired the best. That was a great company. They did a really good job. Any little thing, oh, your hay bales, you know, you had a hard rain and that hay bale line needs a little beefing up the next day. That afternoon, it was done. So, it's a shame, but like I say, the same thing is, I can't imagine owning $1 million condo on a beautiful piece of waterfront property and you can't use the water. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom, do you have anything else?
Oh, no, that was
Okay.
my concern. Was that right there?
We did have one small item, is that we're going to be reinforcing some of the stones on the Long Point Road spillway. So I just wanted to mention that that went to Conservation Commission, I believe, for review last week, and we're still waiting to hear back. But that would be to perform our annual maintenance on the sedimentation in that area. So,
Yeah.
Once again, the hearings is, Tom and I last night let the Herring Commission know about that. And
Thank you.
We voted to send a letter of encouragement to our
Thank you very much.
Conservation Commission.
Thanks.
I think I probably should call Dave and say to copy Lakeville also on that, so.
Thank you, appreciate that.
I thought you already had a regular maintenance.
We do, but the stonework where the excavator usually goes is not secured well, so we're going to reinforce it with steel rebar and put a little concrete
So
apron.
it's a little
So
more
it's-
than your regular
exactly.
maintenance, okay.
No, it's a regular maintenance, it's just that the stonework where the excavator goes to do the same maintenance isn't stable enough for the excavator, so we're just reinforcing that, making it stronger, so that way the excavator can safely perform the same maintenance as always. We're not changing that part of it. Yeah.
It's forcing outwards,
Yeah,
and it's bringing the boulders further out.
yeah, you can
So
see
they just
the
have to
boulders
be
are all crooked and,
reinforced,
yeah.
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 It's the same thing with the, I used to get so upset with the fishermen that pound their holders.
Oh, right,
Their
right.
fishing pole holders
Right.
in between the grass and the stones.
Right.
Yeah, it probably
They're
doesn't
all
help.
on
Right,
there.
right, loosens
It's
it
like-
up.
Yeah.
Just real fishermen hold their fishing poles.
Yeah.
You either hold the pole or a can of beer.
Yeah.
That's what you answer for. Kelly, you seem so far away.
I know, I thought you were gonna sit here like you always do. I thought somebody was gonna sit here next to me, but that's okay, I'm just listening.
So if there's no other new business, as far as an update on the CRs, I think that's just something we're carrying on here. I
Right.
have no update, I don't think there is one.
I don't have
Joan,
anything.
maybe I'll put the heavy pressure for Joan to come in December. It's kind of the end of the year. Maybe she'll have a little more time. We'll put
Yeah,
the,
definitely.
on the December meeting. If it's okay with everybody, I'm gonna sign up for this room again for next year. I wanna get, since the town hall's all being, there's no space there, the police station's not ready yet, maybe eventually. But, to sign up in advance for this room for our quarterly meetings next year. Unless
Sounds
anybody
good.
has,
Yep.
okay, it's pretty comfortable here.
Yeah.
It's close for me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Plenty of parking.
Yeah.
So who did we not have at the meeting today?
Althea Brady from Freetown, and she did email me. She had a really bad
Okay.
cold and she didn't want to do it to all of us, so.
And so Middleborough as well, Joe
Joe,
Freitas.
I called, but there was no, his computer's been out, so he doesn't get an email, so he hasn't had a computer in
Okay.
a long time. And I had tried to call, but there was no answer, so I don't know. There's not even a machine.
Okay. All right, do we have,
And
minutes to
nobody from
approve?
Rochester yet either. I wonder
Correct.
if I should now that I have a little more time again, if I should retry to, I sent that letter twice about a representative from Rochester. Well,
Yeah,
it'd
we
be
just
nice.
sent
I
it,
hate
yeah.
to see that group, you know,
And there was someone
Wayne's,
who wanted to, wasn't there someone from Rochester who wanted to?
their conservation agent I had thought would be a good
Yeah.
idea, but I think she's gone. But I mean, they must have another one. So maybe I'll make a contact. Just kind of sniff around a little bit.
Look up any name Chamberlain.
Do we need to put a, Nancy, was it like a formal, it was a formal letter?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I had
so-
given a copy to everybody, and I sent it twice.
Hmm.
If they would reappoint somebody from there, but maybe they don't have the time to search, or didn't appoint anybody to search, so maybe I'll just look around, see if I can find, if I found somebody that was interested in, they approached the Board of Selectmen to be appointed, that might work. But I really hate to lose that member from Rochester.
Maybe try an email. Sometimes people are more responsive with emails these days.
Okay. I almost forgot about that.
Nancy, do we have
Email that
any,
town administrator.
Yeah, there you go.
do we have any minutes to approve?
No,
Okay.
I can't find it. When I find the notes, I can't find the notebook that I took
That's
the
fine.
minutes in, so, I'm going to, this time I made it look a little different so that I won't lose it, instead of like 100 other ones I have. But I'll try to do 2 for next time.
All right.
Because I have, when I cleaned out my office at the town hall, it was amazing how many minutes I have since 2002, 4 times a year.
Wow.
There's a lot of folders and notebooks and, but it does document that we have had formal meetings for all that time. That's why I say I would hate to see our representation from the different towns fade.
Right, until there's an issue.
Until there's a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
Until there's a problem.
Right.
Oh, yeah, then.
Right.
You're right.
Then everyone comes rushing in.
That's how it works.
All right, do I have a?
Motion to
someone wanna make a
adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, adjourn the motion, adjourn the meeting.